So here's a quick video on the difference between accruals and prepayments, which is a question that we get a lot at the certificate level for people doing the accounting module. And particularly they ask, is there a way to make sure I get these the correct way around? So I think, first of all, the problem with this topic is the word accruals, because this is definitely an accountant's word. I don't think I'd ever heard it before starting accountancy. So that's not very helpful, is it? Because it doesn't really mean anything outside of accountancy. But what it means is basically that we've used the product or service and we haven't yet paid the cash. So if we start with accruals, put it in here, then we've used that product or service, the cash hasn't flowed. So sometimes people say, well, that's kind of cruel, isn't it? To the supplier, if you use their stuff and they don't pay for it, that's not very nice, is it? So maybe you can think of it that way round. The cash has not yet flowed. Prepayments are the opposite. I'm just going to write PPs because it's a bit quicker. So we haven't used the service yet, but we have paid for it. That one's a bit easier because it's a prepayment. That's wording that we use outside accountancy. So that's perhaps one way of thinking about it. Another way of thinking about it as well, you need to get the asset and liability the correct way around. So if we have an accrual, then we've used the product or service, but we haven't paid the cash yet, as we said, because we're being cruel to the service provider. So that is going to give us a liability because we need to settle up eventually. We can't just steal stuff, unfortunately. That means on the other side, the prepayments have to be an asset. So you can think about it that way. Another way you might want to think is this is a very hard topic. So we've got the A there, accruals, A for assets. An accrual is not an asset because it's complicated. Therefore, an accrual has to be a liability. Maybe think of it that way. It's got the L in there. So it's not as straightforward as you might want with the A's, but it has the L for liability. So hopefully that's useful. Let us know if you have any questions.